Shit, what's this podcast called?
Discourse of Human Events.
The discourse is just crazy.
Everything's okay, I'm just trying to act my age. Yeah, I wanna know where the hell the days go. Yeah, I wanna know where the hell the days go. I wanna look and feel years younger, baby. I wanna look.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Dildos!
Dynasty edition. So we're going to talk about the
The
Song
Dildo
Dynasty.
Dynasty.
which
Tell
has
us about the Dildo Dynasty.
the Dildo
It's
Dynasty.
a dynasty about dildo. It starts with a dildo emperor and ends with a dildo emperor.
Which was the
End
most
of
phallic
story.
of all
Done.
the dynasties? Did they have dick coins instead of knife coins?
Oh, yeah.
What Bitcoin?
No, dick coins. The Dildo Dynasty.
Dick coins.
Amazing.
By the way, for the listeners that have no idea what the fuck we're talking about right now, first of all, this podcast will be about one of the Chinese dynasties, which one of our resident Chinese people will be talking about. Second of all,
Don't quote on me.
there used to actually be, in ancient China, as we learned when going through a museum in Shanghai, money shaped like knives. Like,
Yes.
that's, like, it was literally shaped like a knife, and that's how you'd trade money. Why? I have no idea.
kinda
but
looked like
sure,
a-
if that makes sense.
Straight razor. Like, that's the kind of, like, shape it had, too. It was kind of sweet looking.
Yeah.
So I like how we have, so far, the two resident specialists we have are our resident Chinese specialist and our resident necrophilia expert.
We go together.
Alright,
So-
so how are we going to start this? Like, first, I guess, let's
So let's
what's
start
the
with
history
what
of
we're the
dynasties
topic.
in general? Like, give the background of how dynasties work in China.
Yeah.
Okay, so it usually starts with someone oppressed, I would say. So not necessarily poor people. It does happen with a couple of dynasties, but most likely they are aristocrat people that got better education, so that they are more connected with power and sources,
So we're talking like middle
and then
class.
they can middle class, maybe even higher up.
Okay.
You
Upper
see
middle
a lot
class.
Of, a lot of cases are like the emperor's brothers, the emperor's son, that murder the emperor and inherit the throne.
Gotcha. So people that are already kind of in positions of power, but not enough power.
Yes.
That's usually how it
Yeah,
goes,
that
even in
makes
the
sense.
West.
Yeah, that's just human nature. You know, you stab, and then you get your power.
You're like, I've got a ton, but I still need more.
So keeping up with the Joneses, but you gotta stab people to get to the top. They know we eating
So,
on the podcast. What is this amateur hour?
Let me put it away. I thought if you didn't mention it, it must mean you can't hear it. I was trying to get away from the mic when I was eating. Not working.
I like how you're trying to risk it.
Alright.
You gotta
Anyways.
stop eating crispy stuff.
Chloe,
What?
we asked you, so before the podcast, we asked you to pick a dynasty to talk about.
yeah.
Why did you pick this one? Why the Song Dynasty?
And that's SONG.
Okay. So several reasons. I've read several novels and history podcasts around different dynasties in China. Some of them were gruesome.
This is the most gruesome.
No,
Oh.
one of the least gruesome.
Lame.
But they were conquered by the Mongols. I thought that would be pretty gruesome. Pretty gruesome ending.
That towards the end.
Okay.
I mean, it's inevitable when the changing of dynasty that happens, people die.
I guess at the
Maybe
end
we
they were
should let
always
the
gruesome.
listeners know
Right.
the years of the Song Dynasty, so they have a reference
Yes.
for what period we're talking about.
From 960 to 1279 AD.
So kind of like
So
the
this
Middle
is where
Ages.
Kublai Khan invaded in 1279 and was like, nope, now it's mine.
You belong to me.
I like this dynasty because that's the only dynasty that got corrupted enough from the inside but from the foreign power source.
Oh, they didn't fall internally, but most of the other ones fell internally. Like
Yes,
another
most of the
bunch
ones
of
fell
Chinese
from inside.
dudes who are like, nah, fuck y'all, we're
You
taking
could
it.
argue that Qing Dynasty was that because of the Europeans' invasion, but before that there is several uprisings already.
Yeah, the Boxer Rebellion and stuff.
Yes. So you could say like without the Europeans, the invasion, eventually Qing Dynasty will fall, but it will be replaced by another dynasty.
Okay.
But anyway,
So how did this dynasty
Song
start
Dynasty
then?
is known for has lots of artists
Artists. Okay.
and poets.
Which don't make great warriors to defend against the Mongols.
But how did
Actually,
it
funny
start?
you
It had to
mention that.
start with warriors, right? Of some sort, or assassins.
Warriors being treated as second-class citizens in Song Dynasty. It was kind of shitty that anyone who going to the military to serve their country has to have like some character tattooed on their face.
What?
Wait,
they
what?
have a face tattoo?
Yeah, they have a face tattoo, like a character that tattooed on their face.
What character?
I don't know. Look it up.
You don't know the character? You don't know what it means? Or
I don't remember. I'm pretty sure I read it sometime before.
Okay, I'm gonna look up character
Hold on.
tattooed on Song Dynasty face. I don't know if that's gonna bring me anything.
Yeah.
They have penal, as in like for penal would be like they're going to prison.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
No, prison.
So
No.
it is a type of penal, like you have tattoo on your face.
No, penal means you're going to prison.
Oh.
So
I don't know.
there's penises tattooed on their face.
We're gonna
That's
say
absolutely
penises,
not
yeah.
correct.
They have some tats on their face, which seems like a bad way to treat your soldiers.
Was this like
Okay,
a?
totally. So there's a little bit of historical reason. So the Tang Dynasty fall because one of the
This is
people
the
with higher
dynasty
power-
before the Song. Is the Tong?
Yeah,
Tong. Tong became Song,
Tang. What?
Yeah, Tong became Song.
and they tattooed
Yes.
ding dongs on the faces of Wongs.
How much you're drinking?
Not enough. Okay, keep going.
So this is actually interesting, right? So one person that's of a higher power in Tang Dynasty that gather a lot of army and try to overthrow the dynasty, the emperor ruling.
The current
Um,
emperor, yeah.
Yeah. So the Song, when the Song was founded, the founding emperor decided that it's because the people has military power that's causing the country to fall apart. So they're applying this kind of punishment towards people, and even discrimination against the people who are using the power,
Okay.
military
Okay.
force. So this somewhat translated into warriors being treated as a second-class citizen.
So this was like a peaceful uprising against the Tong from the Song.
No,
How does it
It's
doesn't
still
sound
not
peaceful if
peaceful.
there's a military involved?
But there's no... so they were treating poorly the soldiers of the Tong Dynasty.
no. They are
Yeah, I'm
treating
just not understanding.
poorly for the warriors in the Song Dynasty.
How does it
Say
do
what?
with Tong?
So they believe, the founding emperor believed it's because of the people using the kung fu or like military power that's causing the country to
Yeah,
be
the
challenged.
founding emperor of the Song.
Yeah.
Which, before he became the founding emperor of the Song Dynasty, the Tong Dynasty was in place.
Yeah. So what was wrong with the
So-
Tong Dynasty that made the Song Dynasty?
How did he become the founding emperor? Let's start with that.
How did he become a founding emperor?
Did he
like-
murk the Tong dude?
Did he have... He can't be, my soldiers all suck, let's tattoo them. Like,
No,
then
no,
they're
no.
not going to kill the Tong Dynasty and make him the emperor.
No. So the interesting thing is after Tang Dynasty fall, or essentially they lose their control over the whole nation, right? And there are several what they call it, ethnicity groups.
Yes.
From the
Ethnicities.
north part of China. Maybe nowadays it's Mongolia or Tibet or whatever. They come and invaded the mainland China.
Okay.
What's happened over there is extremely gruesome. I'll give you a couple of details.
Okay.
So, one example would be they invaded one city, captured it, and because they don't have any food, they start killing women and children. They describe them as a 3 feet lamb.
Okay.
Oh, no, 2 feet lamb.
Oh.
Yeah, they're literally eating them.
Uh-huh.
It's very gruesome.
Oh, 2 foot lamb. I get it. Why?
Yeah.
So they started killing
So,
women and children first. It's kind of like reverse. If there's a tragedy, save the women and children first. They're like, people need to eat.
But they're the most tasty.
That's what they think.
They
too.
got the least muscle on them.
Is it like veal?
Less fat.
Like the children taste the best?
Could be.
What?
Veal, like that tastes
yeah.
better.
Yeah, this is pretty gruesome.
Oh, but
Yeah, I mean, there's a hatred towards barbarians is really strong, and it printed a lot of people's heart.
okay.
So, don't quote me on this.
I'm going to
How
quote you on this. Let's quote her.
Oh.
Go ahead.
How exactly does what they call it, Zhao Go, which is the first emperor, rose into power? I don't know the exact detail. But what I do know is once he declared that he's an emperor and that he's occupied the majority part of China, still not the everything, but majority part, or what we call like having farmable land, whatever. There's one famous stories that he's started a party, hosted a party, and invited all this general that fought alongside with him, making a toast to him, and then let them to give up their military power.
Okay. As in to him?
Just like convince them through
those
drinks?
generals decided to hand over their military power to him.
Okay.
So this is actually quite noble if you look at throughout the history. Because lots of the people that fought alongside the emperor got murdered in the end. They don't treat well with people that start this giant career with them. This is one exception.
Oh.
So this is a
Chinese
time...
history, as I've always read it, is way more brutal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally.
As in, yeah, thanks for fighting with me and winning this. I'm going to execute you and put somebody else in charge because I think you're a little too powerful.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, and then after he did that, he also set a boundary on the northern part of the China, saying like, okay, my dynasty ends over here. This is such a bad move. It set a precedent for his following emperors so that they cannot go against his will to get more land. That's just stupid.
By establishing
Anyway, that's
the
what he
border,
did.
they're stuck with the border.
Yeah.
That's it.
He personally fought 3 times trying to expand beyond that border.
And then he stopped and said, that's it.
No, he failed 3 times.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he set a boundary saying like, if I can't do it, then my kids won't do it either. But that's my border.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. What else? So, after the first emperor, what else happened in this dynasty? Anything interesting, fun? Anything not involving mass murder? and cannibalism. Or throw in cannibalism.
Isn't that what it's all about, though? What's up? Can I ask what's up with the hat?
Which hat?
Oh, are you sharing? Let's look.
Yeah, I think I'm still sharing screen.
They always have crazy hats.
Look at that hat.
Oh, yeah. Look at that hat.
It's like a normal hat with, like, a giant stick horizontally across.
Flaps.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's interesting story behind that too.
Mm-hmm.
So when the first emperor Zhao Go,
When he founded Dynasty, he was like, you know what I always wanted? Ministers with hats, flaps.
no.
Jo-
When he
Oh,
founded
that's
they have
right.
meetings of every day.
A
You think
poll.
about it as a daily meetings.
Mm-hmm.
He and the people who work for him, the government officials, usually stand in lines and report to him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he hated when people talking to each other when he's talking.
Oh.
So he made the hat extra long, has those wings fanning out extra long, so that when people tilt their head a little bit, those things have started to like ringing, or the signal that they're actually chatting with each other.
Say that again now?
Ta-da!
Wait. Say it again. So if they move to the side,
Yeah.
they'll smack somebody with their little wing.
No, they wouldn't smack. It's just the
They'll
thing
smack someone with that fucking
Yeah, that
thing.
definitely smacks some.
was shaking back and forth.
Oh, it'll shake back and forth. I see.
It's soft, so if
I don't
you
get
see
it.
a vibrant.
So when you talk, when you're chatting, chit-chatting,
Uh-huh.
you tend to move your head around a
Oh,
bit,
so it vibrates,
right?
so you
That's
know.
the idea?
Yeah.
So he could see the ministers of his government chit-chatting behind his back because they're moving their heads around.
Okay,
That's the idea. Which is just fucking crazy.
that sounds.
I mean, it's not better
insane.
than some emperor doing like, oh, you're talking, I'm gonna murder you.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, this is one of more, I don't know, like, peaceful way of stopping people doing something.
Wear this silly hat so I don't murder you.
Yeah. He is so peaceful. First of all, I'm not going to murder all my generals. Maybe one or two here and there. But for the most part, they're alright. And then I'm going to make them wear stupid little hats.
But why did he wear it
The
then?
interesting thing is for this dynasty, a lot less people actually are corrupt.
Really?
Yeah.
Or maybe they just were better at not getting caught.
No. The government officials are treated extremely well. There's no reason for them to be corrupt.
I see.
What they are more concerned is...
So that's why they're the one that fell to a foreign power rather than internal.
You could argue that, but they are more, they are satisfied financially, so what they're after is a fame after their death.
Are you so they may be satisfied financially, but they're not satisfied in terms of headwear.
Is this like when you think of
Movies.
Song Dynasty? Is that like the one of the major things to know to a Song Dynasty is those hats?
Yeah, is that fairly distinctive? I feel like they all have crazy hats. Like every fucking Chinese dynasty has weird hats. Well, let's go back to Tong, the previous one, and let's see what hats those fuckers are wearing.
It's probably crazy ass hats.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I just feel like, in general, Chinese history, like when I see their clothing from dynasty to dynasty, it doesn't change as much as the West. Like, you see knights and you see cowboys. Those fuckers are different.
Yeah.
Alright?
That's
And then
also
you just see
different
dudes in
places.
suits. Yeah, it's the same people.
But that's like
mostly.
each
They're mostly
dynasty for
Westerners.
China does something that's crazy as that.
Yeah. I mean, they do something different, but it's not like...
They definitely
Crazy
have
different.
different hats.
They do all have those big-ass robes with their sleeves and stuff.
They have hats
that's
with
a
like
female
little
hats.
curly tails.
That's a woman's hat. We want a minister.
Yeah.
Like a government
It
minister.
looks like a pope hat.
Oh, there we go.
So that...
Yeah,
but
there
with
we
no,
go. I've seen
it's
them.
They
it's
don't
like a
have that
pope
thing.
hat but hollow. Look,
Yeah,
you can see
it's
his
a
bald
different
head.
hat.
Yeah.
They do. They have
It's
crazy
more
hats.
like modern hat.
So China basically had hat-based dynasties.
Yeah.
Is that a
That's
correct understanding?
fairly accurate.
No,
The
that's
whole
not
dynasty,
correct.
all their power is derived from the hat.
If you like sat me down for
100%.
like, like 4 hours just designing crazy hats, I don't think I would ever come up with the two I've seen today.
I know. And especially the song one. It seems insane.
Yeah.
It is literally... So,
A
like...
stick attached to your
For
hat.
our listeners, yeah, the stick is like twice the length of your head. Probably 4 times the length of
Yeah.
your head. Going
Oh,
horizontally
easy, 4.
in the back.
No. Just picture like a kind of simple Chinese hat, and then attach a broomstick to the back of it.
Yeah.
You're just
Do you think did they ever fence with their hats?
No,
I would so fence with my hat.
I think you drink too much.
Did anybody
I think it
use
was
it
fun,
as
though.
a scabbard? Whooshing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, what are some colorful emperors aside from the first one? Any more crazy dudes? Colorful emperors? Interesting ones?
Oh, actually,
Interesting stories?
most of them are pretty highly educated,
Uh-huh.
have a good manner,
Mm-hmm.
and then some of them are very famous artists.
Mm-hmm.
Not like the other emperor. So
Okay.
it's a big difference.
Is this a very art-focused
Okay.
dynasty then?
Yes.
Yeah.
So one of the emperors started the one style of calligraphy
Mm-hmm.
that's actually very famous.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let's see if
Is it
Wikipedia
this-
has it.
Really wavy.
Our listeners can't see Wikipedia.
So,
and also
Chinese
the,
of mixed styles written by Song Dynasty.
It looks
poet
kind of like
Ni Fu.
cursive.
yes, that's also another famous.
Is this
Looks
what
like
you're
he
talking
drank
about?
too
The
much
one
and
that
just
looks
was like,
kind
"Ah,
of
fuck it."
cursive-like?
I'm sorry, is that?
The one that looks kind of cursive-like? The one I'm looking at?
Oh yeah.
It looks like
Yeah.
Chinese characters, but cursive.
So they have different styles.
Mm.
So one is like especially go with your mood or whatever.
Mm.
Go with the flow, kind of.
It shows the style. Go with flow, yeah.
You know, one thing I've learned about this dynasty from watching Netflix's Marco Polo is there was a lot of crazy kung fu with naked women.
Oh, is this the same
Yeah.
dynasty that
That's
would
a
be Marco
documentary,
Polo,
right?
wouldn't it? This is
It wasn't. Did you watch that or try watching it?
no.
It don't bother. It was not that good. Like I feel like yeah, Netflix just was like throw in
can't
naked
say.
women and you don't need a plot.
I can say their
Somewhat true.
clothing
Yeah.
style was spot on.
Yeah. They had good. They had good like set
design.
pieces and it all looked good. They just didn't have a plot. They had no plot.
No, yeah.
Is
too
it true
slow.
that the Song Dynasty did not have any plot?
I don't think
It
so.
sounded
sir.
no. It does kind of sound like that because they're the artist dynasty. They didn't really have any crazy plots once they're in place. There wasn't any kind of crazy backstabbings or anything because they weren't taken down internally. They were taken down by the Mongols. So there's no plots.
Yeah.
No thick plots.
It's kind of shitty, like you spend so much time developing your country in civilization, and there's a giant barbarian camp next to it, just invade it. And all the advances in the tech tree that you collected is going into like, what's that for?
But it's
What
kind of
else do you
funny
want to
is
tell
that.
us about? Oh,
that's how
I
history
read the
works.
Song Dynasty had lots of inventions and shit. They had like this is when they started using gunpowder in war.
Oh, really?
And, oh, what else? What they do? Yeah, if you go to the top, they have the highlights.
This almost seems like when people think of China, the dynasty that really is coming to mind, and they don't
Yeah.
realize it.
Yeah, I think this is generally supposed to be the height of the like. So this is when the West was in the Dark Ages. Really, we were all dying and not being able to read.
Yeah.
Because I think in the West at this period, literacy rates were at like 10 to 20%.
Yeah.
But we
Tang
believed in
and
the
Song
Jesus.
Dynasty are literally the peak of the
Yeah, this is the opposite. This is when the Chinese were like peaking and they were culturally the height. You know.
I haven't even
Culturally,
begun to
economically.
peak.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, and also around that time, like international trade was really booming in that time. So they're able to support a whole nation's expense through the international trading. You do realize, so the Song can be separated from the Northern Song and the Southern
Yeah.
Song. So the Southern Song is happened when Northern Song lost like 50% of land to the Mongols. And the Southern Song is able to last several hundred years through the international trading to get the money so that they can afford to.
So they had to fall back a little bit and then last a little bit longer until finally the Mongols still overcame the southern bits.
Mongols are hardcore, man.
Fuck the Mongols.
Mm.
How did the Mongols not become
Yeah, just
all
like
China?
the South
What
Park.
happened to
That's
the
to the
Mongols?
Mongolians.
I don't know the.
How did they what?
Because
What?
obviously China isn't Mongolian. What happened to the Mongols?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
what happened.
let's go to that's the next one. The next dynasty is
It's
the
Yuan.
Yuan. So and then who are they superseded by?
But how long did the
Ming.
Mongols have
Ming.
it though?
Very short.
Yeah.
But
Let's go to
Americans
that.
doesn't know
If
how
Zach,
to
if you
rule.
go down a little bit,
Uh-huh.
down a little bit, it should be like the next dynasty, succeeded by Yuan dynasty. Click on that.
It's
Let's
super
see
short.
how long that lasted.
Which one? Do you
Go
want?
up.
To the right there.
Oh yeah, here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but the Mongols were like nomadic, anyways, right? They don't really try to keep.
Yeah, so they didn't quite last 100 years. No, they established. They literally tried to convert and became more Chinese. Like the Kublai Khan became like, I am actually a dynasty and I am the emperor of China.
That's
He
where he
tried.
fucked up.
Yeah,
Good luck trying.
Kublai Khan fucked up, man. That was
yeah, like they are a
Genghis
dynasty, right?
Khan's
They trying to
heir,
invent
right?
their own character-based system. Didn't quite work
Yeah,
very
look,
well.
look over to the right. They have different characters. It's really weird.
Oh,
Mhm.
it's
That's
like
fucking crazy,
Arabic
honestly.
sideways.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's nuts, man.
So, but so
and
like
there are lots of scholars trying to convert.
Kublai Khan
Is
was
it-
Genghis Khan's like heir, right?
He was, I think, grandson.
Grandson.
Yeah,
But
so
like
this
still
is
down
a while
the lineage,
after.
not like necessarily son. But
Dude, you're cutting out a little bit.
he was like down the line in the throne.
Yeah. So I think there was like after Genghis Khan,
Uh-huh.
there were like some splits. So this guy went and conquered China.
Okay.
And then another one went and basically, I think, conquered India eventually. And another one went and conquered a lot of the West. But like going all the way to the West, they were defeated. Like there was some rallying by a pope. Forget which one. And they eventually beat the Mongols back. So we were never... The very western part of Europe was never overtaken by the Mongols, but
Gotcha.
just barely.
Damn,
You
the
lucky
Mongols were
bastard.
hardcore.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they know how to conquer the land, but they don't know how to rule the land.
Yeah, exactly. They're just barbarians. They just went around like... I think they were known for like going around with crossbows on their
Yeah.
horses
Uh-huh.
and shooting people, and then they'd run away, and then people would chase after them. They'd just turn around and shoot them with their crossbows, and then ride away.
Yeah.
So they mastered
Horse riding
Horsemanship,
skill.
yeah.
shooting a bow from a horse,
Yeah,
which is
exactly.
actually really hard to do apparently. But they had
It
a
is.
really great technique.
Yeah,
down.
they have to practice a lot because of the hunting. Right?
Mm.
That's their main food source.
Yeah, so like that's
so
the
think
thing
about
is since
any
they're so
civilization
nomadic,
that you start.
since they're so nomadic, there probably aren't going to be huge Mongolian dynasties, but they conquered so much stuff. But they kept just moving.
Mm.
I don't think they really
Yeah.
settled in anywhere.
They don't really know how to farm.
No.
Put it that way.
They don't sow.
Yeah,
They
that's
do
it.
not
That's
sow.
actually exactly it. We do not sow.
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt that they're somewhat based off of it.
So how did they collapse? They didn't just go, "Oh, we're barbarians," and then just drop
No.
dead and
No.
go like overthrow us.
During that time, you see, like, it's very difficult to make the people be satisfied with current situation, right? The one criteria is, like, if everyone's fed and clothed, then you can think that majority of the people will not go uprise and overthrow the government, right? But, however, what they did is separate the people into 5 different groups and hunt people on the last group. But they are majority of the population.
Okay, that's
So
you
what
people.
do you think gonna
As
happen?
in you.
Not very smart move, right?
Yeah.
Whoops.
You can't make the majority the lowest class.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way. There's always a thing called majority rules, but yeah, whatever.
I think
Once
I
they
know
get
the
their
real
shit together.
problem.
But if you don't have your shit together, then it doesn't.
Yeah.
What's that?
The real problem is the Mongols didn't have funny hats. I'm noticing.
Yeah. I think that is, I think the basis of the power is the hat,
Yeah.
and then they just has a normal looking
No,
hat.
have you
just
seen their hairstyle?
Basic ass hat.
Well, their hat just looks like there was little thought in that hat.
No.
Not nearly as much as the last dynasty.
It's like a piece of cloth.
Let's see the next dynasty hattage.
Ming Dynasty?
Yeah. I want to see the hattage
Is
on those
Ming after
motherfuckers.
this? Yep.
Yeah.
Ming.
Let's see. Why did it give me the picture? I don't want the picture of the Ming Dynasty. I want the Ming Dynasty. All right, let's see.
There we go.
I'm ready for some crazy hats. I bet you they have some craziness. That's not looking crazy.
That's not too crazy. Let's go down a little bit.
That's too normal.
That's the emperor himself. I don't know if he... Oh, there we go.
Oh, God.
There's a hat. There's the hat.
Hold on.
They have square hat.
Move your mouse. Move your mouse away.
Are you talking to me?
Click on
I've definitely seen that before.
Oh my god.
Wanli Emperor, if that's what you're looking
It's like a hat with a flat board on top of it and
square.
things dangling at the edges.
Yep.
Yeah, I've
I
definitely
think
seen
it's 3D.
TV shows where you've watched and they wear those hats.
Yeah.
That is an intense hat.
And I feel like, I don't know, you could take it down and you could play chess on it.
Yeah. But it would have like
That's exactly
those
what it looks.
hanging-
That's what it looks like. It looks like a chessboard on your hat.
Yeah. It's hatception.
Ming Dynasty is kind of interesting too. There's a lot of ridiculous shit happening in the Ming Dynasty.
What? Give us some crazy things in the Ming Dynasty because we're only 30 minutes in.
Okay, so one example is that's closer to the later end of the dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
One emperor got super bored, and then so take this guy Wanli for example,
Uh-huh.
right? So he called himself Shenzong
Okay.
after
What's that mean?
he died. So it's kind of interesting. Wait
What's
for me to
Shenzong
explain.
mean? Okay, go ahead.
So like in the beginning of the year, he's actually a good emperor. He'd do his due diligence and tend to the business and the politics, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But closing to the middle of it, and he's like, I'm so great. I tried to do something else. So he started to believe that he can become the god.
Okay.
Oh.
This is where they drink crazy shit and
Yes.
get into alchemy. Western kings did this too. They got crazy into alchemy and were trying
Yes,
to crazy
and
shit.
guess what happened when you take a lot of heavy metals?
You die a lot
Crazy.
sooner.
Yeah, you got.
Doesn't tend to
Yeah.
go so well for people.
So this is where he's just started like demanding crazy shit. Like he literally lost his mind, or he just died.
I don't think you will like completely lose your mind, but you certainly become a lot more short-tempered and become irrational.
Okay.
So that's bad things entail.
Hmm.
And during that time, because he's also busy doing the alchemy, the main political power was hosted by a eunuch.
Okay. You know.
Yeah. So
That's
that was
another
a dark
crazy
age.
thing about Chinese history that I've learned.
What?
Is so if you watch these historical like dramas that Chloe watches,
Uh-huh.
so here's the setup to a lot of them. So it's the emperor,
Yeah.
and the emperor has concubines, so he can have like 100 wives,
Yeah.
like a ton of wives.
What's the common saying is
It's the king's
3,000
way.
wives.
3,000? Will they literally have thousands?
Yeah.
Okay, they have thousands of wives. Okay. And then the people that administer all this are eunuchs. Like, the emperors have their balls cut off, so, you don't have to worry about them being with their wives.
Yeah.
And they handle all the administration of the wives. And then the drama in the TV shows come in with the wives plotting against each other, trying to get to be like, there's like a number one wife, and then like their son will become emperor.
They're trying
right?
to be the bottom
They're
bitch?
trying to be the
Yeah.
the empress.
Yeah, the empress, which with the number one wife, with the number one son, which will become emperor. So they're just constantly plotting against each other all the time, and like these like ways to poison each other, or like they want to kill off each other's pregnancies so they don't have kids, so that they can't have little emperors, and all these other shit. And they're just constantly going at each other.
So
That is a lot of
it literally
Chinese
is
TV shows.
the fight to be the bottom bitch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's exactly it.
Some of those plottings are not less than like the real plotting in the politics.
I'm sure it is. Like, I forget, there was like, I don't know, one strangled some baby or something in, like, real life, right?
Oh, so you're talking about Empress Wu Zetian.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's in the Tang Dynasty.
Yeah,
So
give
the
me
rumor
the...
said
this-
that she strangled her own daughter to frame another concubine.
Oh, yeah, that's it. That's how dark this shit
Hardcore.
gets.
Yes.
So people think she strangled her own baby to blame it on another woman.
Damn, dog.
So she could be the bottom bitch, and then her
Damn.
children could become emperor.
You know, it's like
No, she become emperor.
She became emperor herself. Sorry.
Yeah.
it's crazy because
She's
like
the only
China
female
has such a
emperor.
long history, and then like to us, it's just like 200 years of history for our
Yeah.
country.
Well, it depends on how you stretch it back. Like, yeah, America does,
Yeah.
but we're like directly from Britain, which goes back to about Roman era.
You could go back to that time period, but really our country's only 200 years. Like China,
Yeah, our country itself.
Yeah.
Chloe's talking about
when you
China, like,
mentioned,
all this
studying American
influenced
history, and I was
where
like,
she's
what?
at.
It's only 200 years. What can you study? It's just like 2 classes done.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is actually the history of China. This all took place in
Yeah.
her country.
That's only one dynasty.
Yeah, I've tried studying. I've studied it a little bit. It does go because like their capital goes all over. It's been like every goddamn city in China has been the capital.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
It feels like it. Like
The
it hasn't always been Beijing. It's been Xi'an was the very first one.
Nanjing.
It's been Nanjing. Yeah, and
And
then
Chang'an.
yeah. I know I'm missing lots of them. A lot of the other ones have been.
Yeah, some of the smaller ones are a little difficult to remember.
Yeah, like they only were capital for like 150 years. Only 150 years, which is half the time the United States has been there.
Oopsie.
It's true.
So it's like there's just so much shit.
Well, the Song Dynasty was longer than America, period. Right? It was like a 300-year dynasty.
The Song was almost there.
It was 960 to
Ming
12
was
something.
definitely longer. Right?
Oh, Ming. Yeah, okay, Ming is
276.
Ming is
yeah.
a long time.
Ming's about the U.S. time frame.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, there's dynasties that lasted as long as the United States has been around, and we don't even count like the history of Native Americans, like before settlers.
Well,
Yeah,
you
that's
can't because
a
they
little
didn't
difficult.
have writing, right?
Yeah,
like,
that's
what
what
were
I
you going to
mean,
read to figure out what they were saying? They didn't write anything.
You can try to decipher those
Yeah.
murals on the cave, but it's going to be a little hard.
Okay,
The
the history is horse, and then a spear and a horse. Then they're eating the horse.
Ox.
That's the history. Like there's nothing there.
Yeah, it's true. Isn't that weird though to have no written history? But I guess it is like a oral tradition.
I've heard like theories about why is like just because they didn't need farming because there was just so much food around.
Yeah.
Like the U.S. is such a great place to grow food and just so much game running around. Like you didn't
There's no need
like
to.
in most of the rest of the West, there were so many people. You needed to figure things out to be able to feed that many people. So
Yeah.
you needed to start farming and stuff. And then once you start farming, you need to track records of who owns this farm.
Yeah.
And then like you start to get an economy. And then like once that ball starts rolling, you start getting all of it.
But hunting
Yeah,
and gathering
sometimes I
didn't
kept
need to
thinking
change
if
in the
you-
U.S. for a long, long time.
Yeah, they had plenty of shit.
So, like, for the Song Dynasty, if it were not for the Mongols, like, if northern part of China was just indeed, like, Himalayan mountain, like, nothing else, I think the Song Dynasty can keep going for a very long time.
Is the Song
Yeah.
Dynasty your favorite dynasty to like study?
They're the
Maybe to
coolest.
study.
They have the most interesting TV shows.
Not really. I mean, it's
Who has the best TV shows?
I
Which
feel like
dynasty?
that just the dynasty has a lot of potentials, but didn't have enough time or just not allowed to expand themselves.
Ah.
I mean, to a extent, I feel like there could potentially be a capitalism booming.
Like they could have started the Industrial Revolution if the Mongols didn't come and kill all of them.
That's one possibility I'm thinking. I mean, they did have like the largest international trading at that time.
Oh, was that the one where? What's that guy? The sailor.
No, that's Zheng He. That's Ming Dynasty.
Okay, so they didn't even have them. He wasn't. That's the dude that like was sailing around doing a bunch of shit.
Yeah, but in the later end of the Ming Dynasty, they stopped the foreign trading altogether. That's like a setback.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe the song would have been like, let's stop it all. Why? I don't know. Because I don't like foreigners.
Do you guys still, like in China, keep track not necessarily of dynasties, but of who is the current leader? Like, you don't still think of things in years as much, or do you think of years?
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, we don't do years very often in the studying the history. It's always like which dynasty.
No, I mean in like
And
present
then during
day.
that, it like you start the counting. But now
You keep track.
things are different. Like, do you still think of the current president? Like, it's not a dynasty because it's not hereditary, right? Or is it? Do you still think of it as a
Funny you
dynasty?
mentioned that.
Yeah. Well, he's trying to make it hereditary, huh?
Exactly. I mean, he is born to someone that of the higher power before,
Yeah.
you know. So I mean.
So do you think this is just a stepping stone into a dynasty? Like, but so if you look at between like the different dynasties, they're always like the warring states period. It's when like shit breaks down, and then it all gets together, and then there's another dynasty. Do you think China's on
About
the
to be
path
a
to another dynasty soon?
No,
It's going to be the Xi Jinping dynasty.
no, it's not possible.
Why is that?
They don't have hats.
Oh yeah, he hasn't designed a hat yet.
Sir, Zach,
He has no power. He cannot derive it from a hat.
Did he learn nothing from history class?
Yeah.
like right now, the world is a lot more connected to the outside.
Yeah, so, but I mean, what's the U.S. going to do if he seizes power? Nothing. They're going to be like, so, not my problem.
If you look at like Thailand or UK,
Mhm.
they still have a royal family, right?
Yeah.
How much they are currently having the power? Not a lot, right?
Thailand, I think they actually do. I think
Yeah,
they died.
Thailand's pretty fucked up already.
Yeah. And then it depends. Like the Saudi royal family has a lot of power,
Yeah, that's a good point.
and then Russia technically doesn't have a royal
No.
family. They kind of slaughtered them all, but the guy that took over, like, eventually, Putin's now is practically he's like a king,
yeah.
right? He's got a lot of power.
Yeah, there's this thing called like a strong leader and then the actual royal family,
Hmm.
right?
Mm.
If Putin's having his son and his grandson also in power for a very long time, then yes.
Yeah. Let me ask: does Xi Jinping have kids?
Yes,
Okay.
only a daughter.
Only a daughter.
Uh-oh.
That makes it tougher.
Whoops.
I
Screw
don't
that
know.
up.
I haven't seen her in any of like important government things.
Did she go to Harvard?
Yeah.
How did I know?
Did they all go to Harvard or something?
No.
Yeah, they all go to Harvard. All the rich Chinese go to Harvard.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's another one that went to Yale though.
Oh,
But-
I'm sorry. They go to Harvard and Yale, just like the rich people
What a
here.
fucking idiot going to
Yeah.
Yale.
The powerful ones.
Yeah. But the thing
Yeah.
is, if you get education at Harvard and at Yale, you can't really go back to like, let's start a cultural revolution 2.0.
Probably not Cultural Revolution, but you can probably...
But that's what he's trying to do now.
Oh.
Anyway.
Does it really feel like it's working? I don't know. I feel like the internet stops that from ever really taking over. Like, I feel like you could never do that again.
Why?
I don't know,
Why
a
does
lot
the
of
internet
people are
stop
afraid.
it?
Because there's too much information. You can be like, yeah, but that's stupid.
But I thought if it's a cultural revolution, what do you mean? Like you're saying if they're saying something that's false the whole time?
Thinking about reading the book of 1941, right?
Yeah, 1984.
1984, sorry.
Yeah, like, say they tried to ban the book 1984.
Yeah.
People are just going to get copies anyways.
I mean,
Right?
I guess it depends.
Let me ask this. Porn was illegal in China. Could you get porn when you were a kid? When you were a teenager?
Yeah.
See? Now, in 1969, when porn was illegal in China, and you wanted porn, it was probably really hard to get because there was no internet.
True that. But you can't publicly oppose to the government, though. You can get arrested, sentenced to like
Right now,
years in prison.
are you? If you publicly oppose, do you get anything, or just a stern talking to?
No. There's one guy that giving a nickname to the chairman. He was sentenced, sometime in prison.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Just it's equivalent as like making fun of Trump's hair. Then being sent to prison. Can you imagine that?
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like that should have gotten some coverage. You know what's crazy? So there was just like a journalist killed in, where was it? One of the Muslim countries. Turkey, yeah. Like he went to an embassy, right?
Uh-huh.
Yep.
And he was murdered.
Chopped into pieces.
Chopped into pieces.
An
Well,
American?
he vanished. He never came out. And then, was it, are you sure it was Turkey and not Saudi Arabia?
Was this an American
I'm going to Google murdered
I thought it was
journalist.
journalist? Or
What's that?
Was this an American journalist or
No.
No.
Saudi, yeah. So Saudi, that's what I thought it was. The Saudi journalist, he went into an embassy in Saudi Arabia, and he never came out. And the funny part is, the Saudi Arabian said, no, we don't know where he went at first.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know. He came in.
came in?
Where did he go?
He never-
I don't know.
Don't look at the basement.
Yeah, exactly. Because he was exposing some corruption of theirs and whatever.
Oh, yeah. Do you think? Like,
But it's been a big deal in the news. Like, they've been constantly all over the place. Because, I don't know, maybe we have more interest in the United States and Saudi Arabia. But shit like that happens in China all the time. We're like, meh, they're Chinese. They do it all the time. What do we care? I mean, Saudis, I assume, are bad too. They like, most of the people that were in 9/11 were Saudis. But we're still like, I don't know. I don't know why it's such a huge news for this, but this happens all the time in China, and we're like, meh.
Yeah, it's probably happening all the time. It's not being reported whatsoever.
Well,
And
maybe
we
it's
should
because we
look
have
at
more
the,
deals with China.
the
We don't
labor
want them to
camp.
seem so bad.
No, we rely on Saudi oil. That's why I think we ignored that most of the 9/11 hijackers were Saudis. But I feel like maybe now that oil's becoming a lot cheaper, we're getting electric cars, and now we're like, fuck them. Now we can start reporting on all the shit they do. Maybe
true.
that's it, or there's some sort of agenda. I feel like the
There's
news
definitely
always
an agenda
has,
with the
and there's
news.
some reason now it's like, let's report on why the Saudis are evil now
Maybe they are trying to sway public
because they
opinion.
weren't reporting before.
They got to be trying to sway public opinion against them.
Yeah, like it's crazy. Like there's a lot in Silicon Valley now.
I mean,
about like canceling all the deals with Saudis, like because we get a lot of Saudi money for tech companies because they're trying to diversify away from oil, right?
Yeah.
And now there's like a push because of this murdered journalist to stop taking money from Saudis.
Yeah.
And it's like, but they take Chinese money too.
Yeah.
Why is there no push for that? Like half of the people I work with are Chinese.
Come to think about it, like a lot of power has the money. Their money isn't always clean.
Yeah.
You don't know where they came from.
Yeah, but we didn't care until just now.
Because
We're gonna
now
start
we can be
caring.
like,
I mean,
we
there's
don't need
probably
your
some,
Saudi money.
Agendas behind it.
Yeah.
What's going to
I
happen?
wonder if they're like, we could get more out of them.
If we don't rely on
This is
oil so
negotiation.
much anymore, that will be like, we won't care about the Middle East anymore at all.
Yeah.
True that?
Yeah. We'll become like Africa, and we're like, yeah, of course it's like that. Whatever.
Yeah.
We don't care.
Yeah, it'll just
Not our problem anymore.
really start to fall apart. when
Let's send them a few dollars for donations.
that-
Yeah, make those upper middle class Americans feel good about themselves, right?
Hmm. Pretty much.
Like, that's their only commodity, really. What else are they going to do?
Export sand.
Sand!
There's a market for sand. They've got it cornered.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I feel like the news really does try to dictate, like, why is there all this news all of a sudden going on? That does seem to happen.
Yeah, exactly. Why? Like, I'm sure there's like Chloe always brings up these crazy like Chinese news stories every now and then, and like it seems like big stories, and nothing. I hear nothing. Crickets in the Western media.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that sounds like something people would cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, people don't really give a shit.
So yeah, I don't know. It always seems like where is the news coming from? It seems crazy.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
good
just like the
question.
recent episode of South Park, right? As long as a man bear pig come to a third world country, kids.
Yeah, I know.
Have you been watching South Park?
No, I have not. I need to.
They had another man bear pig.
I'm
I've
perfect.
heard it's been good.
Mm.
I do wonder though, like
Um.
how much good news we get. Like, where would I even go to get good news? I don't even know.
Like good news.
yeah, where I don't even know.
I know. Like. Yeah, it feels like there's just so much happening in like a world of 7 billion people.
Yeah.
No matter what source, they can always cherry pick
Yeah.
something and create a narrative that they want. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah, a lot of things is not you hear it because it's important. It's you hear it because some people want you to hear it.
Yes,
Mm.
exactly. That's exactly it. There's also this weird.
Which has a lot to do with the Song Dynasty, which is our topic of the day.
I like how you brought it back, and I was about to even derail it more.
What were you derailing?
Well,
it to?
'cause
we didn't get that much steam out of the Song Dynasty.
I was gonna say, this happens in like little communities too, where things just kind of catch on and everybody uses the term. Like in Magic,
Like what?
all of a sudden people started using the magical Christmas land. Like that's a term that's used all
What the
the
fuck
time.
does that mean?
Exactly. So you're not
like
in the
green?
Magic community, so that sounds like retarded. Like you've never heard that. But people are talking like when you get a dream
Yeah.
hand and everything goes right, it'd be like it's magical Christmas land. People talk about if I had the magical Christmas land, this deck would do this.
Oh,
'Cause-
yeah, that is weird.
Yeah, exactly.
like
It's a weird
communities
thing.
just come up with their own weird
Yeah.
shit.
Board gaming did the same thing too, where all of a sudden grok was a word that people used all
What?
the time.
No, grok is coming from actually the tech community.
Is that where it's? Well, they're used. That's well.
What's that
That's
mean?
Grok means to fully understand it in a way that you actually understand every interaction
like
and all the ways it works.
there's a
Like,
lot of tech people
Grok?
in the board game industry, so that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
All of a sudden that just
exactly.
became a
yeah, It's
word.
definitely a tech term. I heard that like 10 years ago. People grokking
Yeah.
Git, or they grok Java.
It was just like everywhere all of a sudden. Like terms, all of a sudden there's like a wave
Yeah,
of terms.
There's a what?
There's like waves of terms, like because I'm in these like small
Yeah.
communities that those happen.
Yeah, and then there is crossover.
Yeah.
Like grok is definitely coming from tech.
Because I watch a lot of
And-
board game videos, and all of a sudden, all the videos people are saying it's easy to grok this game, it's easy to grok that game, it's easy to grok these rules.
Yeah, rather than the word fully understand. That's what it basically means.
Yeah.
Fully understand,
like-
not understand.
That's what was driving me
But
nuts. Is
fully
like people, you can
understand.
use the word understand, like
You would say fully, because it's supposed to mean like that's what it's short for.
Or
Like,
you can say, you feel me?
yeah,
but
understand
people,
the internals.
people
or
aren't
the-
using it like fully
uh,
understand. They're just saying understand. Like it's easy to understand the rules. It's easy to get the game. Like it's easy to understand. You don't have
Yeah.
to use the word fully.
But
They're just using
grok
it.
is supposed to be more like in depth than like understand. Like you're
Well, it's
supposed to just
supposed to be,
completely
but they're not
understand
using
it,
that for
at
board
its
games.
core.
They're just saying it's easy
What's
to
that?
understand the game, not I fully comprehend everything.
I grok it.
Yeah, it's weird. But yeah, it's
Yeah,
just one of
it's
those weird
pretty silly.
things where, like, you know how in your small group of friends there would be words that would catch on and people would start to use those phrases and terms? Well, since it's an online internet community, that happens still, but now it's like online and spread across the country with terms, but in small communities.
Let's come up with a discourse term.
Ooh, I like it.
Necrophilia.
Yeah, something. It's got to be necrophilia related.
We need a phrase, like
Yeah.
a grok.
Okay,
Magical Christmas
wait.
land.
So let's combine Cody's duck fucking with necrophilia. So fucking a dead duck. Let's come up with a term for that only we get.
Like beating a dead horse.
Yeah, like nucking. So nucking is necrophiliac duck fucking. You got to nuck it.
So, wait, what's the term
Not good,
mean?
man. Where are we going?
What's the term mean? You just made up a word. Like all the
What?
other ones are actual words that people just use to catch on.
No, rock did not exist probably 30 years ago. I don't know where this shit came from.
Yeah, that's true. Rock did
So
used
it
to
combines
work.
duck, it combines necrophilia, and it combines fuck. All into one neat little
So you
package.
said nuck. Nuck?
Yeah, nuck. It's fucking
Well, what's
dead ducks.
the meaning of it? Just fucking dead ducks?
Okay, we will refer... So that will be like the literal meaning. Like,
Yeah, but-
fuck the
yeah, we
literal
need,
meaning
like,
is to have sex. But we will be like, we'll have a metaphorical
Yeah, we need a
meaning for
metaphor
nuck,
for it. Like,
which will mean to go off topic.
oh yeah, we're
that's
knucking
perfect.
around. I like it. We're knucking around.
We're knucking about means we're going off topic,
Right.
like talking about fucking dead ducks or
Knucking
something
about.
crazy.
I love it. Is that KNU or
Nuck.
NU?
No, that's got to be N for necrophilia,
Okay,
right?
N. Yeah, you're right.
We're knucking about.
We're knucking about.
So
From
now
N
on-
was in.
Yeah, from now on, when we go off topic on the discourse, we're going to say we're
Knucking
knucking
about.
about.
I like
and then when people and then we'll say, yeah, like we're talking about fucking dead ducks or something.
Dude, I would shit my pants if it
That's gonna be
suddenly
knocking
caught
about.
on and people didn't even know where that came from.
What'd you say?
Said I'd shit my pants if that randomly caught on and people started using knucking about.
When they started saying, "Oh man, we really knucked around," when they got off topic about
We're really
something.
knucking around here. All right. Speaking of knucking,
Oh,
so that
and
was our.
if they actually start talking about fucking dead ducks, they can say we are literally knucking right now.
We are literally knucking. But as I said, speaking of knucking about, that is our Song Dynasty podcast.
Yes,
Exactly.
concluding with
that
knucking.
thus concludes.
We're knocking hard, sir.
We knocked
Yes.
so hard.
We're a highfalutin, very sophisticated, talking about ancient Chinese dynasties, and
Yeah.
coming up with a word for fucking dead ducks.
It was a very productive episode.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
I would say bye, but we're just going to start a new one. So let's start this new one.
Yeah. Do you want to take a 5-minute break?
Yeah, that's fine.
Get some more drinks?
All right, later.